ocean puppies. And then they taught it like basic grammar to connect those. If you wanted to king hit one, you could. Yeah.
When they come on land, the dolphins are going to take over.
With that.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Bagrat podcast, where we are on a mission to fight boring news about Asia and Australia. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, and that is going to be Liam and I. And today, as always, we're recording from downtown Chinatown.
Yep, get king, Madam Chen. What's our topic today?
Well, you really like dolphins, right?
I mean, I have mixed feelings towards dolphins.
And why is that?
I've been pushed off surfboards by dolphins.
You've been bullied by a dolphin.
I've been, personally bullied by dolphins. Several dolphins at a time, yeah. So
several. I think all of them together.
Like on different occasions and at the same time, yeah.
So diabolical.
They are diabolical. They are. I mean, I don't know if they're diabolical. I think they're just playful.
Playful.
Yeah.
Yet they don't. They probably don't know that they're harming you.
They're ocean puppies.
Yeah. So what were you doing? You're just surfing along, having a good time.
They're like they'll jump out of the water and I mean they do surf waves, like they'll catch waves and use them to propel themselves. And apparently when they're out in the deep ocean, they actually use that as a method of traveling. Like they can use a lot less energy by travel a long distance by just like basically staying on a wave, a really big wave,
catching waves.
But on the coast, they'll just like play around and catch waves. And there's a pretty well known surf spot near my house. It's one of the more famous ones in Australia. And like surfing there on a big board, and they'll jump out and try and attack you. Not attack you, but just like play, I guess.
So how close did you get to one of these, or a whole bunch of them, a whole gang of them?
If you wanted to king hit one, you could.
Wow, that's really close.
They jump out of waves next to you, and like whether or not they're trying to startle you is debatable, but they do they obviously are huge. Because they're quite large, like unless you've been up like next to one, like they're like human-sized or bigger than human-sized. So
they're so pretty though.
One burst out of a wave next to you across like the path of your boat, like where you're traveling
with a fin, and you're like, oh my god, is that a shark?
Well, that's a separate thing that they do. They pretend to be sharks.
Oh, so
that's also like another thing that dolphins have wronged me with is they will sometimes just circle, like do the circling thing.
And try to freak you out.
Yeah, that's just to scare people into thinking that they're sharks, yeah.
They're so smart. They're like, we've seen what sharks do and these humans start panicking, so let's do the same. Let's get some reaction out of these guys.
They literally do. And I try not to use the word literally too much, but they actually, like, they've done it, but like I've had it happen. I've been sent out before and like to see if it is a shark or a dolphin whilst at, doing surf life-saving stuff on patrol.
So the patrol sent you out, even though they thought, this could be dangerous, but we're sending Liam out to see whether it's a shark. Little chance that
it would be dangerous. It's more like go check out what's happening. Like even if it was a shark, like you're not going to get attacked or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, apparently.
But they were dolphins, turns out.
Yeah. Well, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're social creatures, and they have a wide range of emotions.
They do.
Yeah, including humor. So they probably thought, look at this guy. We're just going to humor him and just pretend to be sharks.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably what happened. And the whole surfboard thing is also, part of their fun. So you can't complain too much. I mean, they are beautiful.
Yeah.
And which is why we're talking about them today.
That's right, because they like to have fun.
Yeah.
They're one of the few mammals or animals or whatever you want to call them, species in our world that are closely as intelligent, if not probably more intelligent than us.
Yeah, I mean, debatably more intelligent. I mean, they get to live in the ocean and play all day, but yeah, pretty intelligent. I mean, there even people trying to get them listed as non-human persons. So, like, legally, they're they're given the same legal right as a person. So, just keep in mind, persons could have been like slaves back in the day when slavery was legal, and it's the same thing. So that people are trying to give them the same legal status, so that they can't be experimented on and sold and traded and basically anything
or commercialized
in any way. And the only other animals so far that have been sort of considered for that are like chimpanzees, and humans, obviously, but we count as humans. Yeah. And dolphins. And I think elephants they're considering it. It hasn't passed anywhere. I think Germany is the only part of the world where it's like Germany and I think Spain. It's like they're two.
They're very progressive.
Yeah, and everywhere else, there's like you can look it up. There's like a map on Wikipedia, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool map. Like everyone's really with getting the times and making sure the dolphins aren't being abused. But no, everywhere is against that policy. Anyway.
Poor dolphins.
We'll get there. But they're pretty cool. There's over 40 species of dolphins. Lots of things you wouldn't think of as dolphins. Orcas.
Orcas as in the killer whale?
Killer whales.
Yeah.
They're actually, technically dolphins.
No, they're not. They're whale.
No, they're technically dolphins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all in the same family.
Oh.
Yeah, so whales are slightly different. I mean, there's this overriding thing called like cephalopods or something. I might be cephalopods. I might be butchering that.
Fact finder, we need an intern.
Most probably am. But then, when you go a step down, there's like a branch of all dolphins, and killer whales fit into that. And then there's a set of whales.
Wow.
So the whales are fundamentally different.
I'm going to refer to another movie which you probably haven't watched. Free Willy.
Haven't seen it.
There you go. It's about a beautiful orca who had to jump over these barriers, rocks to be free.
Oh, like and physical barriers.
Literal physical barriers, so not mental yet.
Metaphorical barriers.
Or probably a lot of, mental barriers as well.
Get a job, tough world out there for orcas.
Getting fed every day, I don't know about that.
It is a pretty tough job. I mean, you've obviously we were talking about this earlier in the week, but Blackfish, which is a documentary about orcas in captivity. And killer whales.
Yeah, I don't know about all these animals in captivity.
Yeah, and they were talking about
the mental health of these poor mammals.
Basically, stress that they get put under. And, it's pretty interesting. I mean, they're saying that even though they're called killer whales, which is a bit of a weird name for them because they've never actually killed anyone. Like there's like almost zero recorded deaths in the wild. I'm talking about, not in
killing of humans or killing of other animals.
Yeah. Oh, no,
they kill seals.
Yeah, they kill. Actually, I don't think they kill. I think they eat fish.
They play with them.
They just apparently they just get seals and throw them into the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
Fun.
Yeah, and then eventually a seal will die because, can you imagine being...
They get played with too hard, yeah.
Exactly. Can you imagine me lifting you up and then just throwing you at the tree?
Yeah, I mean...
Surely you'll get injured, right?
I imagine so, yeah. So, but no, almost no recorded... the only time they found one was in Antarctica where one flipped some scientists off an iceberg. But then they had actual dogs, and they thought that the dogs actually sound pretty similar to seals barking because seals also bark. So they thought maybe it was just coming to look for seals. Yeah, sort of interesting.
It is. But talking about mental health of these dolphins and killer whales, which is also part of the dolphin family. Yep. Again, I'm going to refer to another movie you probably haven't watched. Flipper.
Yeah, I've seen. I know Flipper. I haven't watched.
Okay, so a whole bunch of these actors, if you want to call them, dolphin actors, or kept in captivity and having to do the show. So one of them was called Kathy, and she voluntarily committed suicide. Yeah. From the stress.
Yeah. So the dolphins obviously don't have the big, teeth and stuff that the killer whales do, but it's a big issue. Keeping them in captivity, whether or not they should. Well, obviously, I mean, I think the evidence pretty much points to them. They shouldn't be. Yeah. They're quite intelligent, as we'll get to.
That's right. Well, tell me.
Have you got? Well, I've got some dolphin facts.
Oh yeah, I've got facts too.
I was gonna lead off with some facts.
Yeah, I think it's the best way.
They have no sense of smell.
Ah, I did not know that.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
That's interesting.
All right, my turn. Dolphins are narcissistic mammals, and they love to admire themselves in a mirror.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's one of the experiments they do when they're sort of looking for are these animals intelligent. They do a mirror test.
Yeah, that's right.
They mark them, or they put dye on them, and they're like, does it recognize? But apparently, it's not very
show of awareness.
Yeah, it's like okay, that's just another dolphin with a black spot.
Can I link this to another one? So apparently, dolphins really like to get high.
Okay.
Of toxins.
How do they get the toxins? What?
Well, how do they get the toxins? Pufferfish. So pufferfish is something that they're very poisonous, and it's a delicacy in Japan as well. How obviously knife skill is very important once you cut it, and do you take the chance of being poisoned or not? Yep. So dolphins like to get high off playing with pufferfish. They would play and pass them around. Like a killer whale would do with a seal. Yep. Same thing. Until they, just get enough, and they hang around at the surface, and they just not sit there, but they float there and they're mesmerized by their own reflections.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like normal 20-something humans.
Exactly. It's just like going to the casino and gambling. It's like, Russian roulette. It's like toxin roulette.
Toxin roulette. I wonder if occasionally one of them overdoses on pufferfish neurotoxin. That's really cool.
That's a funny fact.
Their brains are 25% bigger than ours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's why they're smarter?
Not necessarily smarter. So there's differences in the way that their brain is put together. So, for example, the part of the brain that handles audio, right? Because obviously dolphins use sonar, or some sonar.
Clicking and stuff.
They click and stuff, but they actually can bounce, use sort of like radar, right? Bounce audio signals off stuff. We still don't know how they do it. Like we know how they make the clicks, and we know that they're using it, but we don't know how they what they're actually doing with that information and how it really works. We don't have
because apparently it projects from underneath their jaw.
Yeah,
or something.
and they've got this thing in their head, like a big cavity in their head, which it uses as like an amplifier. It's really weird. Yeah. But the part of their brain that processes audio, that listens to noises and can detect stuff, is 10 times bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's why the dolphins who were around you probably understood English and said, hey, let's just play with these people.
Knock them off their boards, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And then let's freak out all the surf guys, like, maybe we'll just pretend to be sharks today.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's a pretty marked sense, difference. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
They also can't turn their heads.
Ah.
They're fused. The neck gets fused to the spine.
To the spine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, still talking about their brain. Dolphins sleep with half of their brain.
They sleep they turn half of it off.
They turn half of it off. I don't know how.
That's cool.
Yeah, so one side would stay awake, so one eye would be open, but the other eye would be closed.
Oh, so it's actually half the brain, it's
literally half the brain.
That's so cool. And do they can they do anything, or do they just move around?
Yeah. So while I guess half of your brain is sleeping or resting, the other half is still technically alert, so that you still go up to the water to breathe.
Yep.
And I think it's also to keep an eye on predators.
Okay. Yeah, because they do have to breathe.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But isn't that amazing? Can you imagine if
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, apparently birds can do it as well.
Oh, they must. Yeah, because some birds can fly while they're sleeping, I guess. Maybe that's how they...
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Can you imagine just, commuting to work, and then while being at work, half your brain's asleep while the other one's semi-alert when your boss walks by?
Just all the time when you're walking or something. I mean, my brain is actually half asleep normally. So sometimes I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get to work? Did I really wake up?
Unconscious walking.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
used to drive to work, same time every morning, 5 days a week.
Robot.
And it's robotic. I didn't need an alarm. I would just wake up, just turn up, do it. Once you get to work, obviously different story, but the actual process of getting there was pretty much automatic. Yeah, pretty scary when you think about it. When you're driving, you drive a long way and you get somewhere and you're like, man, I wasn't paying attention for all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you were paying attention because you're obviously driving and doing it, but thinking back, you haven't really recorded any of that.
I know,
Pretty cool.
But this brings the question of whether dolphins will be hallucinating with and getting confused between if they do dream when they're asleep. I don't know whether they dream or not.
Works when that happens.
Yeah, because imagine if half your brain's still active and the other half is dreaming. Would you get a little bit hallucinated? Like, oh, is this for real?
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. Well, they do that thing there's one of their behaviors is they can poke themselves out of the water and just use that kick their tail really hard. They're just looking around they call it's like a lighthouse or something, and they just do a spin. That's so cool.
They're so smart.
They are very smart. Have you seen in Western Australia? There's one type of dolphin, and they use tools.
I don't think I've met ones who use tools, but I have been to WA in Perth where these pair of dolphins were chasing the ferry.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
Swan River, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Perth. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if they have dolphins there. I'm not. I guess.
Well, apparently they had dolphins.
Okay.
I was on the public ferry and these two dolphins were chasing the ferry.
Well, they do stuff like that in Jervis Bay
as well.
Yeah. South of Sydney, a few hours, but there's always dolphin watching tours and stuff. Right
around that area.
But they they do follow waves. Apparently, I was reading something that usually they'll teach the kids, like if there's a baby dolphin, it's way more common to see them playing in like a wake of a boat, because they will actually teach the kid to, like, this is how you catch the wave, because boats are much more consistent than waves. So it's like if your boat's traveling whatever speed, it's much easier to learn, this is how you catch a wave and keep traveling on that wave.
I know.
So they teach their children using boats.
And do you reckon that they're telling all the kids stories that get passed down from generations? Humans have built these big machines that produce constant waves for us to learn how to swim.
Well, they are, and like I've got this as I'm a big literature fan.
Yes.
One of my favorite books as a kid was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
And there's a quote from The Hitchhiker's Guide that is, dolphins are the second most intelligent creatures on Earth after mice and followed by humans. And, I think they end up leaving the planet, and there's a whole book
That's right.
So Long and Thanks for All the Fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they must be the smartest creatures on the planet then, right?
Well, they can understand us humans already.
They do have their own language, right? Well, allegedly. We can't prove
that we can't understand this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's and that's part of the difficulty, I think, in assigning them as, non-human persons is, well, are they speaking a language? I mean, we know that there's these complicated clicks and sounds that they make.
Yeah.
Apparently they all have a name.
Yes.
And the way that they communicate is by, like, copying the other person's name, which is essentially what humans do, right? Like, you're Madam Chen. So that sound, Madam Chen, I just copy that. When I want to say your name, like, tell someone about you, I'm like, oh, Madam Chen. So it's the same thing that we do.
It's pretty amazing.
Maybe they do have a language.
Yeah, but I also read somewhere that apparently different, are they called herds?
Yeah, there's all different. They have a pretty huge social structure. Like all different,
So apparently some certain herds can't understand another herd when they click or do the sonar.
Different language because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So they must have like different minority groups then.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, apparently with the orcas, there are actually they thought there was like 2 main groups of orcas or 3 main groups of orcas, but it turns out they started noting down all the patterns on orcas, and most orcas sort of look the same. Then they started finding some that had like a grey spot in one location, and it turns out that that's actually a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
Like that's a group of orcas right there that has that one marking. So they're actually further splitting it. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. There's also something like that with humans. So this was a story told by somebody who comes from the Mongolian descent.
Okay.
And I sort of verified it with a few other Mongolians, and they're like, yeah, it's true. Apparently, if you have Mongolian blood, when you're born, when the infant comes out, you have this blue spot on your bum.
Really?
Yeah, and that blue spot will then disappear after, I think, a month, or some of them actually can continue to have that sort of blue spot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
I know, but we need to verify this. We need to wiki it first, and then I need to go back to my Mongolian friends
we need to go to Mongolia. Find a
hospital.
Children's hospital. Can we look at the baby just for a minute?
Just a fresh one.
Is it fresh? Yeah, we don't care about if it's more than a month. Don't. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Is that?
Yeah, apparently that's like a part of the genetics, I guess, the hereditary of Mongolians.
That's so
being a true Mongolian.
That's how you can pick it. Seems like a really long way to find out. It's like, are you really Mongolian? It's like, well, I'm gonna wait 9 months to have a baby and then see the spot on that child.
Can you imagine doing a paternity test? This baby is not mine.
There's no blue spot. I just imagine people getting like blue ink and just like drawing a little circle. How big is this spot? Like, is it?
I think it's meant to be maybe it's identifiable, but it's meant to be a small one. But it disappears, which is the other thing.
It's blue.
It is, blue.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know whether they were trying to pull my leg, but I've verified this with a few other.
Like, that's like a drop bear thing.
Drop bear.
They just all like as kids are all just like tell everyone that when there's a baby, because it's something that's so hard to verify unless you like actually do go to Mongolia and go to a children's hospital, or you do know that it, and like you'd have to have like it'd be impossible to prove because you'd have to have like 2 actual Mongolians that you could trace a descendant, because if you had any other,
that's I'm going to Wikipedia this later on.
If you had like a mixed couple or something, or any sort of mix, then you could just be like, oh well, it's not it didn't get passed down through the genes.
We didn't have the stronger
Maybe
genes.
I reckon it's a drop bear thing for sure.
Well, I'm going to research this and get back to you.
I'm really interested.
I'm interested again as well. I don't know how that just came up.
They go back to dolphins.
Yes.
Not humans. They don't have. Apparently, no one knows if they have a sense of taste or not. Because
I'm tasting some orange juice right now. It's quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what dolphins think about orange juice.
Well, dolphins get water from the foods they consume.
They do.
Yeah, so they don't drink the ocean water, which would potentially kill them.
Yeah. And then, when they breathe, they have to breathe out of their air hole.
Yeah.
And they get rid of stale air and then breathe in and then,
and off they go.
Squish it all out again. Yeah. Pretty cool.
It is. Yeah. Any more facts you got?
I got a few more. I've got, like I was saying earlier, I was talking about the tools. So they're one of only 4-ish animals that have been shown to use tools.
So it'd be apes?
Yeah. Well,
humans?
Chimps. Yeah.
Chimps. Humans. Dolphins.
Yeah. Dolphins.
And there's one more animal. Oh, octopus.
No.
Oh.
Although maybe that's a fifth one. Maybe there are more. But no, corvids,
what?
Crows.
Oh, crows. Okay.
Yeah. They've been shown to use rocks. They have a special rock and they'll break it open. Actually, there are a few more. I know otters.
I think there must be a few more.
Otters use a rock as well to open clams. Yeah, pretty cool.
Smart animals.
Yeah. And I don't know about octopuses though. I don't think they.
I'm just thinking of this octopus.
They are pretty smart though.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was maybe some scientific experiment they were trying to get the octopus to put a circle thing through another circle.
Yep. Off the coast of Western Australia, bottlenose dolphins have been shown to place a sponge over their snout. So the way that they forage for food, they dig into the sand.
Yeah.
And so they get this sea sponge, put it over their snout, and then dig it, and it protects their snout from getting scratched from all the dirt.
So their snout's pretty much like the equivalent of our hands.
Yeah.
So we would wear gloves if we go picking for fruit or potatoes.
Yeah. And so they've been shown to teach their kids that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're very progressive. I think they will take over the world.
They are very progressive.
Talking about taking over the world, apparently dolphins 50 million years ago were land animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sort of sense because they're mammals, right? So
yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was when you look at the skeleton of their flippers, so they actually had vertebrae, it's fingers. So before they entered the water, they were described as dog-like creatures.
Dog-like creatures. That sounds amazing.
And then they evolved.
I'd like a land dolphin.
A land dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the technical term is called re-entrant.
For the Vikings, in classical history, they believed that dolphins were actually wolves, and wolves were actually dolphins.
Yeah.
So in the summer, they were wolves, and then they believed that because the wolves all go and hibernate and go off for winter, right? So they believed that the wolves, unless you trap them, in which case it stops them, but they would all go off and transform into dolphins for the winter.
Well, it makes sense because they only need half a brain to stay awake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then they would come back in the summer as wolves. Yeah, and orcas as well.
Yeah. Well, going to a period before then, so is it Eocene period? Eocene.
I guess.
Okay, I can't pronounce this. Yeah. So that was about the time when the dolphins became what they are today.
Aquatic,
moving from land to ocean. So they were living in this era where there was heaps of CO2 and the temperature was a lot warmer. It was 9 to 14 degrees warmer than what we currently have.
Okay.
And there were a lot of volcanic eruptions on land, and majority of Earth was covered with ocean. So it just made sense for them to evolve.
Go back into it.
Yeah, to go back into it.
And then they just stayed.
And they stayed. But there's been a lot of instances where there's beaching of dolphins, beaching of whales.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they largely attribute this to magnetic.
They can't, no, I don't think there's any conclusive evidence on it at the moment. So one of the largest ones happened in, I think, 1996 in New Zealand. It was 400 something whales. And they're seriously, they're like, well, we don't know why it happens. But it's been happening. There was some research into claims of sonar.
Frequency,
But then you go back into history and there's evidence of whales beaching themselves thousands of years ago. Like there's Roman accounts of whales beaching themselves and dolphins in the Mediterranean. So it's something that's been happening for a long time, since recorded history sort of thing. So
I'm going to bring this back to a theory.
Yeah.
You know how we both really enjoy watching The Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
And how she wanted to become a human.
Grow legs, yeah.
Grow legs. So this might be the next evolution.
Maybe they're just trying.
Yeah.
They're just beaching themselves and they're like, maybe this one will work.
Yeah, maybe one of us will survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we will be a re-entrant.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's interesting. It's something that I mean they can't figure out, and it's so difficult to figure out.
I
don't think
it could be anything that like could be triggering off the frequency.
Yeah, but if it's been happening, I mean, maybe it's a combination. Probably, I guess more likely it's a combination of effects. So maybe sonar is having an effect
on them,
but there's obviously something else out there that's causing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we keep saying they're smart. There was a dolphin in America that was able to learn 60 words and more than 2,000 sentences.
That's pretty good.
Sentences I could speak.
We can't speak, obviously.
but it responded correctly to, like, for example, the one they gave was something it had never done before. So they taught it hand signals for different tricks, and then they taught it like basic grammar to connect those. And then they said, touch the frisbee with your tail and then jump over it. The dolphin did it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
that's amazing.
8 times out of 10. So, I mean, that's pretty consistent with it learning. So.
That's learning. That's how children learn as well. If you keep repeating the same thing to them, and they'll finally remember. And then once they get to an age where they can be rebels, they'll just go do the opposite.
Then you're going to start looking into free choice and stuff. But pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Okay, dolphins are the equivalent of the ocean unicorn.
The ocean unicorn?
Yeah. So you know how we keep talking about this mystic animal called the unicorn, always on land? Well, there's the narwhal dolphins.
Yeah.
And they have a beautiful horn at the very front of their head.
They do.
Forehead, whatever.
Which is, for some reason, do you know why?
No.
Okay. I guess it's for hunting. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I know that they grow continuously throughout their life.
Yeah.
So like it eventually gets to a point where it's like crazy long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
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 So beautiful.
Pretty cool.
I know.
I mean, you can see where like the thought for unicorns came from. Because I mean, dolphins have been a part of human history, really. They're referenced in a lot of different places. They're on like some of the coat of arms, always on the sides of coat of arms, like supporting the top part.
And the unicorns, right?
And unicorns as well,
Is it Scotland that has the unicorn?
And a dragon, I think, something. Yeah, it's like both. But dolphins appear everywhere. There's a couple gods, like Roman and Greek gods, that are associated with them, always with love and like playfulness sort of thing.
That's what they are.
And there's paintings of them because they're, for years they were, well, not when I say for years, I mean for like a long time, they were the only recorded animal that would like interact with humans, apart from like dogs, which are obviously domesticated. And also stuff that are actually domesticated, but they're the only animal which actively will seek out humans and
help humans actually as well.
Us. Exactly.
Yeah. With fishing.
Orcas, with the fishing and dolphins, playing on boats and stuff. So it's not like they've just been playing on boats since we've had boats. In like modern times, it's like they were playing on boats, 2,000 years ago in the Mediterranean Sea. So really cool.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So when I searched narwhal dolphins on Google, it came up. The first thing that came up was the narwhal.io online game.
Okay, what is the narwhal.io?
I was curious too.
I need to see this.
So it's where you become a friendly narwhal yourself, and you pierce each other.
Oh no, that's not nice. I thought it was okay.
I didn't go any further than that.
Actually, no, I have seen that. There's like a video game where you can do it. That sounds terrible.
I know.
Did narwhals actually do that?
I don't know if they do that.
Impractical.
But it's only the males that have the unicorn horn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these beautiful male animals. Ugh.
I mean, you can have female unicorns.
Yeah.
Are they gendered? I don't think
know
so.
if they're gendered or not.
Canonically, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
All right. Got any more facts?
I've got more.
All right.
They did a study on dolphins, and they were rewarded with new tricks. So every time a dolphin did a new trick, at the start of the day, so as the first instance of it doing a new trick, they would give it like a fish, like a treat or whatever, which is how they train them. And then every time it repeated that trick throughout the day, it was giving the same the same trick. So the way that they did it is like every day they did it for 14 days straight, and it ran out of things to do. So there's behaviors, and they've already categorized all of those behaviors, and they came up with a list of behaviors, and it had filled up that list of 14 things. And so for the next 16 days after that, they had nothing for the dolphin. The dolphin was
bored.
Not bored, but it was trying to wonder. Not that they weren't feeding it, but they weren't giving it treats. It's wondering, well, what am I doing wrong? And then after 16 days, so it did 14 days of known behaviors, 16 days after, and then it performed a radically different flip, like something that they've never seen before. It was like some sort of sideways flip.
This is like machine learning, but dolphin learning.
It is machine dolphin learning.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they reinforced that trick, right? So the next day it tried something completely new.
Wow.
And then it just continued, and every day
it's evolving.
And it learned that what the humans were doing was actually reinforcing novelty. Basically, they were reinforcing new tricks, right? They did literally the same experiment with humans, except obviously on land and not in water.
Humans can't flip that much in water, right?
Into what happened, but not not giving the humans feedback. So not saying to the humans, classic scientific study, okay, you need to do this. More like just saying, okay, here's a piece of paper, and rewarding them if they do something novel that hasn't been done before. Apparently, humans. It took us on average 35 sessions, and it took the dolphins 30 sessions to realize, where a session is like a day.
Yeah.
To realize that what's being rewarded is novelty, not just creativity. So they literally they beat us.
Wow, we're literally going to be beaten by this. Yeah. When they come on land, the dolphins are going to take over.
We're dead.
Yeah.
And apparently
better go and grab my towel.
When the dolphins realized, that average time when they realized that creativity was being rewarded, apparently most of the dolphins just had excitement, and they wanted to do more and more novel tricks. So all the experiments for the dolphins had to stop because they would just keep doing new tricks. Once they realized that's it. And apparently for the humans, we just produced relief. That we didn't have to do the experiment anymore.
The dolphins go, I'm so excited, I want to do some more.
Because we've realised what it is. So, dolphins are,
amazing. Dolphins are amazing. They're not diabolical. They're amazing.
They are.
All right. Did you know that dolphins have belly buttons?
No.
Yes, because when they come out, they have an umbilical cord.
Okay, they're mammals. I guess that makes sense. I never thought about it.
Neither did I. I was just
where's the
amazing.
belly button on a dolphin?
Oh, underneath there somewhere.
That's so cool.
I know. I'm just gonna.
Do you know that they're one of the only mammals that's born tail first?
Yes, I do know that.
So you can watch a video of it. It's pretty interesting. No, it's really cool.
Does it involve blood? Then I don't think I can.
Yeah,
no.
It's really cool though. Everyone else watching at home, go look it up. It's really cool because the dolphin, the mama dolphin, I guess you call it, just has to swim really fast to shoot a kid out. It's really cool, and it comes out feet first, and then now there's just two dolphins. It's really weird. Nature is amazing.
Nature is amazing. Talking about birthing.
Spawning.
There have been a few instances where humans have found two-headed dolphins.
Two-headed dolphins?
Two-headed dolphins, two-headed bull sharks, and two-headed whales.
Why don't we have two-headed humans?
Conjoined twins, as they are called, true. Or Siamese twins.
Okay, so that's what we're...
Yeah.
Okay.
So they think it's a natural occurrence of a mutation, as they call it.
Okay, yeah.
They haven't really attributed it with humans and the whole sea creature to radioactive, pollution or things like that as yet. They think it's just one of these one in a X amount of occurrences. So I've got some facts here for you, not with dolphins.
Okay.
Because majority of the time from what they've said is that because they can't breathe, the dolphins can't breathe straight away because you're two heads, and then so they can't get the blowhole.
They don't survive very long.
Yeah, they don't survive long. They just come out, and that's why they wash ashore and they're almost all dead.
That makes sense.
But the thing is, not all of them would wash on shore. Yeah. So, but in terms of the human side of it, so 1 in 2,000 births are conjoined twins.
That's not many.
Yeah.
That's less than I
did some calculations, so that's 35,000 if we are working with the 7 billion population.
Okay.
Yeah. And then with conjoined triplets, so these are three heads on one. So that's 1 in a million. So working again with our 7 billion population, that's 7,000, potentially 7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's a massive high percentage of stillbirths and then death within the first 24 hours.
Yeah. Same as, Okay.
Yeah.
That's same with, cool. I never thought about a two-headed dolphin or a three-headed dolphin.
Well, that came up in one of the facts. It said two-headed dolphins found in Turkey. I was like, oh my God, I have to click on this.
Yeah, is there a photo?
Yeah, there's a photo.
No,
I'll show you later.
Find out later.
Yeah, and it just made me think of an X-Files movie.
Okay.
So it's about are twins.
Right.
Yeah, so this is I think it's the episode where it's called Humbug, where they're at a circus. So this guy, he's actually holding the twin, the smaller twin,
right.
Which is attached to him. And then at night, the twin detaches itself from the bigger
so
twin.
They're not actually conjoined.
No, it's an X-Files, it's paranormal activity.
Right. Okay, I'm not familiar with it.
No, they are twins. I think they're like one of those like freak shows. There's the bigger one holding onto the little one.
Right.
Yeah, and so in the movie, the little one at night goes out on its own, detaches itself, and starts killing everyone.
Oh, wow.
But can you imagine if that happened with dolphins?
Murder. Well, I do have.
Oh, yeah?
In real life, the U.S. Navy denies ever having trained its marine mammals, aka dolphins, to harm or injure humans in any fashion or to carry weapons to destroy ships. So that's so specific.
Training dolphins.
But they do train dolphins. They admit, they have a training center. You can go look it up.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I've got it here. The Wikipedia article, for those interested, is just called Military Dolphin.
Oh my God.
They train them to detect mines. So they swim through a field and they've got cameras on them, and they're trained if they find a mine, not to obviously go up to it. They come back and then show their trainer. They get fish.
They're very smart.
They are incredibly smart. So go to that article. You can find them.
So now men have dogs on land who can find mines, and they have dolphins in the ocean to find mines.
That's correct. Yeah. So they've trained to do that. Allegedly, the Soviet Navy operated a research facility somewhere in Russia, but they closed the program in the early 1990s.
Yeah.
And apparently, they sold them to Iran. These killer dolphins.
Selling killer dolphins.
They actually had killer dolphins.
Wow.
These weren't mine detecting dolphins. These were actual killer dolphins. But
it's kind of scary.
Allegedly, the American, the United States Navy has not trained them to kill people. But then that's so specific that it seems like there's probably
they're trying to hide something.
They've been trained not to destroy ships, but it's so what have they been trained to do? And it's well,
this just sounds like one of those bad James Bond movies.
But it's real. I mean, isn't that what's the James? No, it's not James Bond.
Dr. Evil.
It's Dr. Evil from Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I want freaking sharks with laser beams.
Laser beams. That's right.
Heads.
Or something about sea bass as well.
I think that's the light sharks don't work very well with the lasers.
That is hilarious.
Lasers don't work very well underwater, just by the way, if anyone's willing to try that.
Well, I'm a little bit scared if there are definitely dolphins out there who can just...
There are mine detecting. Well, the US has confirmed that there are mine detecting dolphins.
Instead of calling themselves the Navy SEALs, they should call them the Navy Dolphins.
They're actually all in service right now. They still do it. They have up to 75 trained dolphins at a time.
Wow.
They save lives as well. Full-time training.
And the wonderful thing about dolphins is that they have longevity like we do. So
they're long-lived. Yeah,
that's right.
So that's why the Soviets were able to sell off their dolphin killers to.
He's literally trained, got a certificate in black belt.
Allegedly, I mean, yeah. So that's cool.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. I'm not too scared. I mean, I don't know when there's going to be an occasion where I'm going to be stuck in an ocean with.
Can you imagine if you go surfing and then this dolphin comes up and it's got lethal weapon on its snout?
People keep saying that Harold Holt, the ex-Prime Minister of Australia, was
killed by a dolphin.
Well, people say no one has any idea, right?
Oh,
he just disappeared.
Yeah.
So maybe he was killed by a
dolphin.
Everyone keeps saying maybe he got eaten by a shark, but I mean it's pretty unlikely that a shark's going to have a go at a human, right? It is pretty unlikely unless pre-provoked, right? Or they think you're a seal, which is what happens occasionally. But against a human in water, it's unlikely. But maybe it was a trained killer dolphin.
Very plausible. Yeah. And it probably didn't use its teeth.
No,
used its weapons.
Yeah.
The snout.
The lasers.
Lasers. That too. Or whatever else they've strapped onto the poor thing.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah. All right, I got a fact.
Okay.
Did you know that dolphins grow a new layer of teeth each year?
So a new layer of teeth?
Yeah, so they fall out and then new ones grow.
That's cool.
Yeah, so apparently it's just like a tree that you can tell the age.
You don't imagine dolphin teeth, do you?
No.
I mean, I'm vaguely aware that they have teeth, but I'm you don't expect to be bitten by a dolphin.
No, you just expect to be pushed off your board.
Yeah, just
and be thrown around.
Body tackled out.
Yes.
But they do apparently, they do apparently bite each other. So I guess that's cool. So why do they? Because they're carnivorous, right?
They eat fish. Yes.
Yeah, they just eat fish. So
I mean, they haven't evolved to eat seagulls yet.
They haven't evolved to eat. Well, actually,
humans.
I found an interesting thing. So they were trained in and I think this is pretty common across when you have dolphins in captivity across the world. They're usually trained so that when anything falls into their pond or their pool, they're trained to take that rubbish and bring it to a trainer in reward for fish. So the trainers don't have to clean, because obviously there's an environment with lots of kids and stuff around, and there's going to be rubbish in the pool somehow. So they're trained to grab that and take it to the trainers. Apparently, one dolphin in somewhere in America, they dropped a piece of paper in, and it trained itself to realize that, if I rip small bits of this paper off, I'm still going to get a fish. Like, it's not like it's dependent on. So the dolphins learn that it's not dependent on that. So it'll take it. So it'll just rip up bits of paper and just keep the big piece of paper, and then take it to the trainer for fish whenever it wants.
Wow, that is so smart.
So it's showing two things there. One is a sense of future, which most animals don't have. So they don't have this sense of planning for the future. There's some things where it's instinct, like squirrels storing nuts and stuff like that. But that's just instinctual.
And creating Ice Age,
Yeah, creating that. Setting up the chain of events that led to the Ice Age movies.
Look, if it's on TV, it's real, right?
It's real, exactly. That's our motto of this show. But yeah, so it's two things. One is that sense of the future, and the other one is delayed gratification.
Wow.
So the dolphin's fully aware that if it's not hungry now, and most animals would there's done studies on rats where they'll just keep pressing that button, to keep getting food. If there's a button that gives you food every time, then they'll just keep pressing it. Whereas these dolphins are like, no, I'm not hungry now, but I know that I'll get it later. So it's got to not only
save them for later,
future, but delayed gratification.
Wow,
but
so smart.
Leading on to seagulls, which you mentioned, at one point, a seagull fell. I think it fell into it landed on the thing. Yeah. And the dolphin took the seagull
back to the trainer.
And the trainer was like, okay, well, I'll give you even more fish because you just brought me a live seagull, right? And so they had to keep doing that because once you've done an action with the seagull, with the dolphin, you have to keep reinforcing it, otherwise, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The dolphin will ignore it next time. But they realize that if you get a small piece of fish, as a treat, save it, wait until later, and then use it as bait for seagulls. Grab a seagull and then take the seagull. Then you get a bigger fish. So now that one dolphin communicated that to its friends using language and showing it what it did, and also using the language. They recorded this.
So smart.
And so now all of the dolphins will, if there's seagulls around, they will try and catch the seagulls.
That is so smart. Oh my God. I am living in fear if they ever come on land.
That's weird.
They're lethal. They know black belt and they can predict.
I think the government should, they definitely shouldn't be training them to kill, because if they could,
they'd be killing humans instead.
It's not even like a science fiction novel. It's
or a bad Austin Powers movie.
Yeah, it's actually if you could train a dolphin to attack someone. Yeah. And then had enough of them, you probably could. It'd probably be enough of an issue. It's pretty serious.
Don't worry about robots and singularity. We should be worrying about dolphins.
We're done with robots.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Stuffed
Dolphins
robots.
are the new. Look, big fan. Do you know their top speed?
For a dolphin?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a stab at this.
It's in kilometers an hour.
Kilometers? All right. Because they're so smart. Because they're so aerodynamic, and because I've heard all these facts about them being a massive, killer dolphin. Definitely over 100 k's an hour.
No, it's not over 100 k's an hour.
How fast do they travel?
I guess if you shoot one out of a cannon, it would go 100 k's an hour. No, that's 55.5.
Oh, that's still pretty fast. Yeah. I mean, that's faster than me running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
I'm averaging
fast.
7 k's an hour.
Yeah. That's in water, so they do pretty well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that whole jumping out thing is it speeds them up because there's less friction in the air. So, yeah.
So, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Really cool. Really cool animals. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, not only are these dolphins diabolical, but they're freaking smart.
Definitely diabolical. So now, actually, maybe we should call them diabolical dolphins. I think I've changed my mind.
So in another 50 million years, they'll probably take over Earth.
Yeah. I think Douglas Adams had it right the first time. They are the smartest, or the second smartest creature on Earth, allegedly after lab rats.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to go grab my towel. For sure. I'm gonna
go hide from dolphins next time they're out.
It's please don't hurt me. I'm a friend.
Please no.
All right, excellent.
Cool.
Thank you. Bag rat out. Hey, thanks for listening to this week's podcast. For the latest updates and posts, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love it as much as Captain Bagrat and I do, please support us on Patreon, where we hope that our dream of having our own TV show will become a reality one day. So then we can continue to fight boring news on everything, anything, and nothing with an Asian twist. Thanks for your support. Bagrat out. Solid.